私怒ってるから。二の型、行動めぐる来い。
Let's kick things off with a quote from one of this week's Spotlight heroes. True heroes are willing to fight, even when things seem impossible. And when that's coming from Saitama, the guy who literally ends every fight with a single punch, it hits even harder. No pun intended. Good evening, friends. Or is it just us? Or did this week feel like it lasted a whole decade? Maybe it's the hype around the premiere of the first film in the Infinity Castle saga. Demon Slayer. Ring a bell? Either way, we're here to bring you the first part of our weekly news segment, What's New with the News? In the anime world, we've got our podium ready. Gold goes to the third season of the baldest powerhouse in anime history, One Punch Man. Silver is a remake of a classic anime featuring coffee by day and art heists by night, Cat's Eye. And bronze, a fresh new title where youth might just last forever, Sanda. Also making waves is a new work by the same genius behind one of this year's best anime, Orb, on the movements of the Earth. The new title? 100 Meters. No, it's not about track and field. In the manga realm, we've got Jukebox by Soborou. Yes, the guy who's got a knack for steamy romance plots. Then there's Majo Suiri, serving up witches, goths, and all kinds of magical mess. And of course, anything involving Pegasus Knight and his beloved Athena is a must. Saint Seiya, Rerise of Poseidon. Gods versus gods, what could possibly top that? YouTube, what about you? Got your ticket yet? Ready for those iconic battles and that borderline alien-level animation courtesy of Ufotable? If you haven't read the manga, grab a box of tissues, because Rengoku won't be the only Hashira casualty this time around. With all that said, roll the video. Let's kick things off with something that's definitely not for everyone. 20 years after teaching us that lying is an art and being fooled is a skill, Liar Game is finally getting an anime adaptation in 2026 because nothing screams intense psychodrama like animated characters. The creative team looks like a lineup of people who've done serious stuff, and they're set to turn this mental manipulation fest into a visual spectacle.
貴様らが魔王様を倒しに来た勇者どもか。
Of course, we couldn't skip a story with one of those ridiculously long titles. Coming in 2026, an anime where the protagonist doesn't reincarnate as a hero or epic villain, but as the bad guy's henchman. And naturally, in the middle of a bloody battle, he falls head over heels for a priestess on the enemy team, because nothing says healthy romance like love at first sight during a massacre. The production team is top tier, promising a romantic RPG-flavored fever dream.
時々思う。人生はゲーム。最難関のクエストだらけの。一体。
This adaptation is one for the favorites list. Grab your controllers and your feelings. Let's Play hits anime on October 1st, packed with drama, crushes, and social anxiety in glorious HD. The protagonist just wanted to make awesome games, but ends up with a toxic streamer as her neighbor. Because the universe loves irony. Creator Mangi ditched Webtoon over marketing and pay drama, but promises a comeback in 2025. Until then, it's time to ship and suffer in style.
そうだ、俺農業やってみたいです。
存分に第二の人生を楽しんでくれ。
これみんなあなたが。
First sequel of the day. New seasons are always welcome, because planting potatoes with vampires and grilling with elves is clearly the future of fiction. Farming Life in Another World returns in 2026 with a new season, and even a game to grow virtual veggies. Hiraku, the formerly sickly reincarnated guy, keeps turning his farm into an Airbnb for magical creatures. It's the most social, slow life in the multiverse, and apparently with more spin-offs than potatoes.
俺は無差別格闘早乙女流2代目早乙女乱馬武者修行の旅で親父と中国に渡っていた俺だったが
Halfway through the segment, time for a classic. 32 years later, Ranma 1-2 returns with a second season this October because changing gender with cold water never goes out of style. Netflix will stream the romantic chaos and martial arts, complete with new music and nostalgic cast. Even Moose is back, probably still nearsighted and obsessed. Grab your buckets and your feels, this one's gonna splash hard.
There you go.
And, of course, we had to include a movie. 2026 kicks off with Labyrinth, where a teenage girl ends up in a parallel world because her phone broke. Between mysterious selfies and a rogue digital clone, Shiori tries to escape a tech nightmare labyrinth. Oh, and there's a genius who wants to connect brains to smartphones, because clearly Wi-Fi just wasn't enough.
富樫、お前もう世界目指せんじゃね？
今日からみんなとクラスメイトになる小宮君だ。
Movie Part 2, and this one's a must-watch. 100 Meters is that sports drama where one kid runs like he was born with springs in his legs, and another vows to beat him even if it means training until his muscles file for retirement. Years later, they meet again as rivals, ready to settle old scores at lightning speed. Premieres in Japan in September and hits the US in October, with music by official Haiji Dandism, because even sprints need an epic soundtrack.
この学園の生徒こそが将来日本を再建すると信じてやまない絶対権力者だ。
On today's podium, bronze goes to a title we've already talked about. In Sanda, future Japan decides Christmas is a myth and adolescence should last forever, because apparently growing up is optional. The protagonist, Sanda, gets accused of having a useful curse, like a semi-useless superpower, and teams up with a classmate to find a missing friend and maybe revive the holiday spirit. Premieres October 4th on Amazon Prime.
これがお目当てのローマの女ね。作戦通り指紋は関係者から入手済み。
In second place, another classic with a fresh look and the Disney Plus stamp. The most glamorous crime sisters are back in style. Cat's Eye launches a new anime series on Disney Plus Japan starting September 26th, with weekly episodes through January 2026. Cafe by day, art theft by night, because multitasking is an art form. Ado sings the themes, including a cover of the 1983 classic, and yes, they're still more elegant than Interpol. And in first place, gold medal goes to the new season of anime's strongest bald guy. Saitama returns in October 2025 to deliver punches with more flair than ever. One Punch Man, Season 3 features Jam Project with Baby Metal for the opening. Yes, it's going to blow speakers. And Makoto Furukawa himself singing the ending. Because when you're invincible, you've got time for karaoke. JC Staff continues the animation, and the plot promises action, monsters, drama, and that cheeky existentialism only a superpowered bald guy can deliver. We're starting off with a new story from someone who's no stranger to romantic and erotic manga. You've been warned. Soborou is back with Jukebox, a new series launching August 23rd on Magazine Pocket, because clearly, after teachers in compromising situations, all that was missing was a narrative playlist. The author, who survived a forced break due to illness, wrapped up, "Why the hell are you here, teacher?" In October 2024, after years of erotic comedy and uncensored anime adaptations. Another new story, this time with witches and mysteries. Majo Suiri arrives in manga form because nothing says gothic mystery like a cryptic girl who calls herself a witch and attracts trouble like it's a hobby. Kunori and her childhood friend Takumi dive into a whirlwind of strange cases and supernatural vibes. Makoto Sanda keeps dishing out magic and mystery like he's got a lifetime contract with the occult. Next up, a hiatus, but not for health reasons apparently. No Longer Allowed in Another World returns, October 29th with its final arc after a 3-month break, because even depressed authors need a vacation. This isekai comedy follows a writer who just wants to die in peace, but the universe insists on keeping him alive with cute girls and video game powers. It's like the genre itself is saying, "Don't want adventure? Tough luck." Now for a story that's come to an end. Actually, it already has. After 7 years of solving mysteries with charm and sass, Holmes of Kyoto says goodbye with a final epilogue published this Tuesday. The tale of a handsome, slightly venomous guy who sniffs out antique frauds, and the student who stumbles into a part-time job and amateur detective career wraps up on web action. It's been a journey full of tea, porcelain, and deductions worthy of Sherlock. This platform's a regular around here, always popping up in our videos. After defeating the Demon King, Aino and Iroh realize the real final boss is life. Have a great trip. After the end credits is the kind of manga that starts where others end, with 2 warriors fulfilling an old promise on a magical, emotional road trip. 3 volumes, an epic friendship, and a journey worth more than any battle. And we're closing with an old familiar face, even if it's a spin-off. Saint Seiya, Kaio Saiki, Rerise of Poseidon is about to wrap up with its 4th volume, because even sea gods have editorial expiration dates. While Athena and crew are busy getting wrecked by Hades, Poseidon decides it's time to crawl out of bed and face a new threat. Launched in 2022, this spin-off dives deep into cosmic drama and promises a finale worthy of a mythological tsunami.
ちょっと待ってろ。新海賊とやらをぶっ飛ばすからな。
何よ、お茶悪いわけ？
すごいなお前。今の何？
私じゃ不満なわけ。
まあ弟子にするとか約束しちゃったしな。
Of course, we had to wrap things up with a quote from our favorite Zodiac Knight. Only losers think dreams are impossible. For us, dreams are never impossible. Seiya's eternal optimism and relentless determination are a huge part of why this classic still resonates. So, what did you all enjoy the most? In the anime world, we had plenty of titles to add to your favorites list, starting with the 3rd season of Saitama's Adventures, the strongest man in the anime universe, followed by a Disney-branded remake of Cat's Eye, complete with a soundtrack by one of Japan's hottest artists right now, Ado. Then there's Sanda, where youth might just be more of a curse than a blessing. We also got 2 titles for those who love a good psychological mind game, Liar Game and Let's Play. And we wrapped it up with 100 Meters, a film that promises to blend sports and drama in all the right ways. On the manga side, Square Enix expanded its digital platform's catalog. 2 stories reached their grand finales, one of which features life itself as the final boss. And of course, the Zodiac Knights made their presence felt in a new spin-off, with Poseidon and Hades doing what they do best, making life miserable for our heroes. Classic god behavior, like spoiled kids fighting over their favorite toy. So go ahead, smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, share it with your crew, and have a great rest of your Saturday and an even better Sunday. And don't forget to mark your calendars. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Catch you then, folks.